case study with TriVenture Logistics LLC and Tecsys. I'm joined today by Brandy Peterson. She is Chief Financial Officer of TriVenture Logistics. Hello, Brandy.
Hi.
Zachary Daniell is Chief Operating Officer of TriVenture. Hello, Zach.
Hello.
And Don Martin is Platinum Application Specialist with Tecsys. Hello, Don.
Hello.
Brandy, let me start with you. Tell us about TriVenture Logistics LLC. Who are you folks?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having Zach and I on today. TriVenture Logistics is a for-profit medical logistics company that is owned by 5 nonprofit healthcare systems in the state of Georgia. And the goal is to be extremely transparent on how we get widgets from manufacturers to the hospitals. So it's a very clear path on how much money it takes to move boxes is what the goal is for TVL. And then we are just over a year old. So we're brand new at this and we're hoping to grow.
Interesting. Part of kind of an innovation in medical logistics. It sounds a fascinating idea. Okay, so Zach, what was the supply chain challenge that we're talking about today that you faced in this case study?
Yeah, so Brandy and I actually we're a part of another organization that has been utilizing the Tecsys platform, a co-op that's owned by 6 health systems in the state of Georgia. And last year we had this brainchild to create TriVenture Logistics and bring some of the experience that we had from the table, to the for-profit, opportunity and expand on the capabilities that we have. Well, in that venture, trying to establish a WMS that operates in a different manner, from getting goods from manufacturer to the hospital, we knew that we would need to kind of harness the power of some of that Tecsys knowledge to ensure that we can, incorporate, that system and that platform into the operation.
Was your first WMS, considering you were a startup company, right? You weren't replacing an old system.
Correct. I mean, we've been utilizing Tecsys for about 8 years with Distribution Cooperative, but we would be taking this WMS application and changing the format, into a 3PL model.
Okay, so you're no stranger to Tecsys, which explains in part why you chose them. But tell me more though about why Tecsys for this particular WMS. There are a lot of WMS vendors out there. Why'd you go with these guys for this?
Yeah, that's a great question. We, besides the familiarity of being in the system for the last 8 years, I think one of the biggest selling points, or a couple of them for us, was the relationships that we've built with the Tecsys team, over those years, and the communication capabilities and the experience. I know we have Don here with us today. I've worked with Don for several years, and we have spent countless hours brainstorming different projects and new innovative ways to do things. And something that isn't common with other WMS platforms that I've used is Tecsys has a pretty unique user group platform that's outside of the organization, where a lot of different users of the system come together and share ideas or different ways to utilize the system, capabilities that are there.
Don, how did you see yourself as a fit for this engagement? What do you feel like you brought to the table?
Sure. And some of these, I'll echo the same sentiments that Zach just spoke to, that, I've been working with this organization for several years. I think it was 2019 is when I first started working with them. I've been with Tecsys since 2017. So most of my career here at Tecsys has had this group involved. I've been involved with them in one way or another. My experience helps out. The relationships are a no small part of it, because we're familiar with each other, how we work, and we work very, very well together.
WMS can be a pretty complex application these days with all the different things it's supposed to control within a warehouse 4 walls. So it's not exactly plug and play. So Zach, I'm wondering if you could tell me a little bit about the actual implementation of the solution. What was involved in that? How long did it take? Did you learn any lessons along the way?
I mean, there's always lessons to be learned. There's always ways to do something, better. And I think that I definitely agree with the statement that nothing's plug and play today. WMSs have come a extremely long ways from the old green screens to the technological capabilities that they have. Working with the Tecsys team, I think one of our biggest new challenges is we're going to be incorporating a blockchain solution with our EDI capabilities, and have worked with the Tecsys team on how to understand that blockchain solution and how it ties into the system. And we've I think from both sides have learned a lot of new capabilities or expanded on the capabilities that are in the system to make that streamlined process. When dealing with healthcare, whether you're a manufacturer down to the actual hospital, there's a lot of intricacies that come with using the system.
Yeah.
And getting that product, from the supplier, to the dock of the hospital in a format that the hospital is used to, the way that they want the pallet stack down to, if you're doing low unit of measure, to the par rooms that are within the hospital. So, this implementation from I'll say a third-party logistics model, but we like to claim ourselves as a medical logistics service provider.
Highly specialized.
Trying to build that platform and do it in a manner to where even some of the health systems that we have that are a part of our other organization, Distribution Cooperative, and building on that. I think we found a lot of success in the last 25 years. That DCI has been around, that we have a lot to offer in this new venture.
Brandy.
Well, we also, sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
no, I
interrupt
was
you.
going to invite you to chime in.
Thank
Go
you.
right ahead.
We also liked the availability that Tecsys gave us to add warehouses, like different locations, it didn't have to be just one area. We are going to be able to grow easier with Tecsys.
Yeah.
And so that was a big selling point for us.
As a relative new company, you've got to think about scaling at some point down the line. Yeah. Don, what about you from the implementation side? You've implemented lots of, examples of your application. How did it go from your standpoint?
I thought it was very well. First off, we had a great team in place. Zach and Brandy and their whole team at TVL, experienced and very knowledgeable and think outside the box. On the elite side, of the systems side, it's a very flexible platform, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in how you operate. And you can, even as Brandy stated, you can add multiple warehouses. You can have very unique processes within each of those warehouses. So it's a great software package, and on a platform that's very, very flexible. And then, of course, the team in place just made it go very, very smoothly.
So is it fully up and running now? At one facility, multiple facilities? What's the deal?
Today, a single facility, but those future, that future growth that we're expanding, and future work that we'll have with Tecsys is that expandability.
Okay.
I'd say we've been very fortunate to have a lot of interest in what we're doing, and we expect that growth to come with it.
All right. Well, you've had some experience of the application up to this point, and you've told me a little bit about what some of the benefits are up front. But Brandy, tell me more. Now that it's in place, what are some of the benefits that you've seen from your standpoint?
So financially, the biggest benefit I see is that the upgrades are pushed through when you're on and please correct me if I'm wrong, Don, I'm not the IT guy, the main line, right? So we're going main line.
You did great.
I'm learning so much. So DCI is not mainline. DCI started at, and Zach, correct me, 9.2? So we started a couple 20 versions ago, if you will. And so what I'm excited about is that these upgrades are going to be able to be pushed instead of having to wait to do a full, daunting, month-long upgrade. Like that's what I'm excited about, is that we get to go to sleep one night and wake up and it's like, hey, it happened.
Magic.
It's magic.
Yeah. Zach,
At least that's what I've been told, so it better happen, right, Zach?
I'm sure it will. Zach, what's your perception of the benefits that you have realized to date from the deployment of this solution?
Yeah, so I'm going to piggyback a little bit on that. So, coming from a legacy system into 9.2, and working within an organization, it's hard to move away from processes that you're very familiar with in an old system.
Mhm.
Right. So you go into a 9.2 and you meet a great team like the Tecsys team, and they say, maybe you should look at it a little differently. And you do in some areas and you don't in others. And then you find yourselves being put in a position to where you don't get to take advantage of, all the capabilities that the system has had. And so as we've moved through several upgrades with Tecsys, and then we decided to, take on this venture with Tecsys at TriVenture Logistics. We wanted to take more of that information from the Tecsys team and go, let's do it as generically as possible as we can in the system, so that we can continue to take advantage of all the upgrades and on all the future capabilities that will come. And I will say that's probably one of the biggest benefactors, is that we're going to deploy a system that's ready to roll, and is available to do those upgrades.
So beyond merely scaling to additional facilities, where do we go from here? Zach, what more would you like from Tecsys in terms of functionality that maybe you're not taking advantage of now?
I want to say our next big adventure is going to be utilizing their billing management software. That is a new application that we ourselves have not utilized. I know it's not new for Tecsys, but that's going to be our next biggest challenge is leaning into that software capability to help handle the billing process.
Brandy, you have to be keenly interested in that because that's a financial area. What else do you see that you might want to take advantage of?
So that's the part that I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
Not having to hire more employees to count out how many pallets, what's the peak pallet, how many inbounds, how many outbounds, and Tecsys is going to do it for me. That's fantastic.
Great.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Don, what do you think you can bring to the table in future for these folks?
Yeah, I think as Zach stated, that we've kind of taken the approach of just upgrade, right? And he skated the line of what do we want to bring in scope for the upgrade and what do we not? And you skinny that list down enough to where you can get to your time to value. You can implement as soon as possible, which they've done. And optimizing is another step. And it's a continuous improvement. It's a lean technique to go back and revisit your processes, which DCI TVL now has done a great job. 5 years ago, we would have never had these conversations. But in the last several years, with this team in place, they've done an incredible job on making the processes much better, faster, smarter. And that put them in a position where they can accomplish these things that they are today.
Brandy Peterson and Zachary Daniell of TriVenture Logistics and Don Martin of Tecsys, thank you so much for being with us to tell us your story. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for your time today.